Okay.
Merienda time! Ato ni Deng. Merienda kay pa ito na lamis. Pay manong. Ay, okay lang ba ito? Mabaling naman yung purpose.
So guys, well, we as you can see, we hired new contractors to work on our fence. And the interesting thing is that we found the best way to hire local workers is to pay on a daily basis. So basically what's happening is they have 2 skilled workers and 1 semi-skilled worker, and the skilled workers get 800 pesos a day, and the semi-skilled worker, he gets just under 700 pesos a day. But what happens is that, as you can see, we come up now twice a day just to give them snacks, one at 10 o'clock in the morning, one at 3 p.m. Now that's just for this part of the build. And the reason that we're doing that is because we're going to inspect everything that's done every day, and if we don't like what's what we see, then we're just not going to ask them back for the next day. Now, however, we are paying them at the end of every week, so they work Monday through Saturday, and then they get a week's pay if they last for the whole week. But let me show you why that has worked so well. Let me give you an idea. Just look at the difference in what we're seeing. Here. Look at the quality of what we're getting. And I can't say enough about what you guys saw before this, the previous workers, the kind of work that was done. I'll show you that in a minute. And I don't know if you guys remember what this looked like prior to these new guys coming out to do the job. It's like night and day. And what it's going to eventually look like, or what we're hoping for it to look like, is this. And the interesting thing is how we went about finding them was kind of interesting, because we were staying at my brother-in-law's, and he has a guest that comes over, maybe once or twice a month, and they sit outside and they drink and they laugh and they sing and they have a good time. And one day I went outside and my brother-in-law decided to introduce me to the guy, and it just turned out that he happened to be the guy that helped my brother-in-law build his new house. So we got to talking, and he said, hey, he might know some skilled workers who are looking for some work. So we invited the gentleman up to the site, and he came up and he looked at the mess that we were dealing with, and he says, no, this is fixable, we can fix this. So we talked about everything that we need to have changed, all the work that needs to be done, and he says, okay, so I have a couple of guys, there are 2 skilled workers and 1 semi-skilled worker, and we'll send them up on Monday. And so that's how we ended up developing the system. So it was purely by luck. And when you think about it, it's interesting because some of the guys in the comments had said to me before that, just hire them and pay them by the day, and then you can make those decisions. And so I have to admit, yep, that's the best way to work with local contractors. So if you want to find local contractors, not that you can't find them, it's that's the way to do it, is ask around, keep looking. And when you find someone that you think might be worth hiring, bring them out and just have them do a small section, and come out every day and check what they're doing, and if you like what they're doing, then keep them rolling. And if you remember, let me show you real quick. This is the kind of work that was done prior. And another thing that was kind of interesting was the previous contractor, the one that we ended up firing, he had 2 skilled workers when he first started. So the first month that he was here, he had 2 skilled workers. And those guys knew what they were doing. And we're actually really grateful that they knew what they were doing, because they put in the foundation work up to the first tie beam. After that first tie beam, that the contractor fired them. And he did that. I think he did it because he wanted to keep that money for himself and not have to pay anybody for their services. But let me show you some of the work that he did and why we were so glad that we decided to let him go when we did. So this is one of the columns that he put in. And just so you can see, and this is the contractor. He didn't know the formula for mixing cement. And so what we're going to have to do now is we're going to have to tear that out and redo it because it was done wrong. But there's another big difference here, because if you're working with a local contractor, then yes, pay them daily and then, check on their work. Likewise, and what's different is that we have an engineer building the house. And there's a lot of stuff that's been done on the house, guys, and I'm not going to go over it today. We'll do another video on some of the stuff that's being done in the house. But the difference is that we pay the house, we pay that on a milestone basis. And so we don't pay the workers directly. That comes from the engineer. He pays them on a weekly basis. We just pay the engineer, and then the engineer does that from there. But we still have to come up every day and we have to inspect to see if the work that we expected to be done on the house is being done. And let me say, guys, yeah, we make mistakes. We sure do. But that's the whole idea of me videotaping this, is so you guys can see that you can make mistakes, but you can recover from them. And actually, when we caught the fence contractor's mistakes, we did it at a fortunate time, because the money that we had allocated for the fence, we still have enough left to fix it without it going over budget. So we're really grateful for that. And I guess that's really all that I have for this video, guys. Just keep in mind that yes, I know I'm going to get trolled because they're going to see mistakes. They're going to see the new build, and the new fence, and they're going to think, oh, those guys aren't doing it right. I know I'll get trolled a bit, but that's okay. My goal is to let other expats know that this is what it's like to build in the Philippines. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's difficult, but you can do it, and it isn't that costly, guys. So anyway, we'll catch you on the next video, guys. Bye-bye.